Hi, this is Ken. How's everything going? Was your busy Monday actually busy? This kata is called enough is enough, which basically asks us to delete occurrences of an element if it occurs more than n times. In this kata, we will be given a list and a number n. We need to create a new list that contains each number of the list and most n times without reordering. In the example, the n is 2 and the list is 4 ones. So in the return, we should only keep 2 ones. And in the second example, since n is 1, so we can't keep any element that occurs more than one time. So the second 20 is removed. Let's head to the actual practice. If you remember an early kata we did before, I introduced a function called reduce, which apply function to 2 arguments cumulatively from left to right, and in each iteration, it will use the result from the last iteration. So I think this is a perfect scenario we could use the reduce. First of all, we need to import it from functools. And here we say reduce. No more than n. It's the function name we will define later. And the list is ordered with the initial list as empty. If you remember how I explained the function reduce in the last kata, you will find out that if we write the function like this, there will be an issue. The max e is defined in this function, and there's no way we can pass it into this no more than n function. So how can I do it? The way of passing max e into a function with multiple arguments is to use the help of partial, which is also in the functools. Let's import it first. So let's change this name to no more than e, since we want this function to remove elements that happens more than e times, where e is actually defined here. The no more than e takes 2 variables a and b as it is required by reduce, and we return a function that is no more than e, no more than n, sorry, where the first argument is defined by max e, and we move it into here. So this part of the code actually defines a new function which is called no more than e. It utilizes another function called no more than n with the first argument as max e. What we need to do here is to define this function that actually doing the performance called no more than n. It's the e, a, and b. A and b here should be the same as a and b here. In the return partial, we pass the e into this function and take this place. So in the later use of this function no more than e, we don't need to use e as an input again. So let's do it. I think this is quite straightforward. Do you still remember the function count? We can do it like this. A count b, if it is smaller than e, what do we do? We just need to append it, or we simply return a, right? This runs the function like this initially. When there's no more than e times of this given element, we just append it to the list and return this list, or we just return the list directly. As you can see here, this is redundant. So what we can do is to remove those 2 lines. All right, it looks like this function is done. Maybe you still remember that reduce actually returns an iteration instead of a list. As required by the example, we need to return list. So let's convert it into a list by using the function list and return. I think we are almost done. Let's give it a try. There's an error. Functio's partial object is not iterable. I actually forgot to pass the parameters to it. So this part actually returns a partial object or partial instance, sorry, and this actually invoke this function. So let's give it a try. Cool, it passes all the tests. How about this one? Nice, we got everything right. Let's submit it. And next to the next kata.